Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new episode of the ME Show. I am your host, Ali Mehdaoui, and this is where we sit down with leaders, creators, and change makers who aren't just talking about success, they actually are living it. Today's guest is someone whose journey reflects what this show is all about: vision, resilience, and a willingness to do the work when no one is actually watching. And I personally relate so much to the topic that we're going to talk about. And one of the most challenging things where we are in a world full of noise, highlights, and overnight success stories, this conversation is about the real process, the lessons learned, and the challenges faced, and of course, the mindset that is required to build something meaningful, to create something incredible, to have more of what it means to be in faith no matter what. And around the world right now, as we speak, millions of people quietly live out their faith in an environment where belief is not always understood. It's not always welcome, and is definitely not supported. And today, we're shedding light on one of those often unseen communities, Christians in Morocco. Now, I'm Moroccan, and many of you may not know this. My brothers and I have gone through a transition and conversion back in 2012, and it created a whole lot of craziness within my own internal family, and I can only imagine all over the world when this message is heard. But I'm strong in my faith and happy where I am, so I'm willing to talk about it. But my guest today is David, just 19 years old, but already carrying a mission far bigger than himself. David is a founder of Moroccan Christians, now the #1 online page serving Moroccan Christians and seekers. Through this work that he's doing, he's been able to help people to learn about the Christian faith, walk through the strength and what it means to transition, to experience the Eucharist, to experience the catechesis, and receive baptism even, and grow spiritually, often quietly, carefully, and might I add, courageously. This conversation is about faith under pressure. Digital ministry is the modern age and what it truly means to serve without applause. So, David, welcome to the ME Show, and I'm super excited to carry this conversation with you today. How are you feeling?
Feeling amazing. Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in. I'd love to hear about your story. And obviously, we're covering your identity just because of persecution is an all-time high, unfortunately, where you are. So why don't we start about the beginning? When did your mindset shifted into questioning your spirituality and seeking a different faith, and what led it to be a Christian faith?
So, funny enough, my conversion wasn't through research or talking with other people. It was mainly from many events that kept happening throughout my whole childhood, which I was actually planning on keeping secret, but I guess let's just reveal it. So, ever since I was a kid, I used to mess with witchcraft, which is kind of, I guess, funny in a way, as it is a Moroccan stereotype. And it's gotten so bad to the point where I started suffering from severe demonic oppression, and some would even say that it was demonic, possession. One night in 2020 was when everything changed. I went through one of the worst moments in my life, and I was simply like, you know what? I'm done with this. I want to find the truth, and I just want to be saved from this, basically. So that specific night, I stumbled upon a Catholic community on Discord. If you guys know it, it's like Telegram. And 2 days later, at 3 a.m. on a night again, that's when I converted. Simple as that.
Yeah. What was the, I know you've explained that there were moments that have led to converting to Catholicism and Christianity overall, but what was that moment that made you realize this wasn't just interest, but it was an actual calling, like it truly was deep within?
To start the pages that I have started.
Or faith overall?
Faith overall. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, when it comes to faith, I would say it was simply from living life in fear. I mean, when you were simply suffering so much, like spiritually and in reality as well, when it comes to people making fun of you, etc., you just want to find something that you would I guess, feel happy with, if you get what I mean. And for me
Yeah.
personally, that was our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
As Moroccan Christian yourself, what personal challenges you feel like have been on the forefront since you've made that decision?
A lot, actually. I mean, obviously, just from my pages alone, back then I used to, funny enough, receive a lot of death threats, a lot of blackmail, etc. But I mean, you can't even, unfortunately, as a Moroccan, receive the sacraments or get baptized. Although, thankfully, through some connections that I have with an organization, I was baptized last Christmas in the city of Casablanca. So, yeah.
Wow, it's actually pretty interesting. So you were baptized in Morocco.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the idea of being oppressed, persecuted, yet you were baptized in the very same country that you are not necessarily speaking against, but you are hoping to bring awareness to.
I mean, yeah, most certainly. To be honest, to be quite frank with you, when it comes to Morocco, the oppression here is definitely real. I would say it's more severe on a social matter than it is on a legal matter, because on a legal matter, as long as you convert, if you convert, as long as you keep it private into yourself, you should be okay. Just
Yeah.
basically, yeah, like live life secretly, basically. But on a
As they
social
say,
matter,
lakum
obviously.
dinukum waliya dini.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
بالضبط. Um, but for socially, there definitely comes a lot of risks where I've seen Moroccans get kicked out of their homes, get attacked by their own parents, etc. And I've actually unofficially partnered up with an organization which now is catechizing tens of Moroccans, soon to be hundreds, God willing, soon to be baptized as well.
Why do you think this calling came to you at such a young age? Because most of us, including myself, you go through a transition of adulthood and you start questioning, like, why am I here? And what got me here? And what did I do wrong? Et cetera, et cetera. And you reflect back. But this journey started for you when you were 14 years old. So very, very
Yeah.
young. So why do you think it came to you at such a young age?
I don't really have an answer to that other than social media is something that I love doing ever since I was the age of 9, 10, etc. But simply seeking the truth and like speaking up for others is something that I have always been wanting to do ever since I was a kid.
For viewers who may not understand the context, if you will, what does it mean to be Christian with Moroccan roots? I mean, is there a way that you can describe that identity to the masses?
The best way to describe it, I mean, realistically, if you look at history, Moroccans back then, we used to be Christian, obviously.
Mhm.
Our ancestors are Christian, but they've been Islamized, Arabized, etc. So in today's context, if you were to leave like Islam, for example, it would basically be deserting your culture, your family. It's basically like signing a contract saying, I disown myself from my family, basically.
That's a heavy burden to carry, my friend.
It is.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.
So do you think the real challenge is the oppression or the struggle with the identity from within? Because look, I'm not going to sit here and say that I have a lot of friends and family in Morocco who are considering the faith. But I will say that I cannot think maybe two people that I know in everybody that I know in Morocco. And I can probably say that I know more than 50 individuals in Morocco, like no family, friends, close peers that do not practice the faith in any way, shape, or form, to the point they don't even fast and they drink all the way until the night before Ramadan.
Yeah.
So is the challenge here the identity struggle in within, or is it to deal with persecution?
I would definitely
both?
say, I mean, I would definitely say that when it comes to the Moroccan Christians' identity, it doesn't really disappear. We're still patriotic to our country, obviously. We still love our culture, etc. It would more so be on a base of persecution. People simply would not accept the fact that someone would be out of Islam, basically.
But what misconceptions exist both inside and outside Morocco that you are aware of about, somebody being Christian in Morocco? I mean, I know that the country has been modernized enough. I mean, I see hip hop artists, I see rappers, Big Chassid, and all these guys like tattooed up on TV.
Yeah.
Their videos with drinking, they're cursing all over. So I feel like the country has modernized itself so much so to be an open country, just almost culturally speaking, like the Western world. But yet, from what I understand, the root of the culture is still very, very instilled within the depth of the religion itself. Is that a fair
Yeah.
assessment?
I mean, yeah, most definitely. I would say that for Moroccans, when it comes to basically being westernized, as a way to summarize basically what you said, I mean, I would definitely say it is happening, but at the same time, the Moroccans still tend to stay close to the Islamic traditions that they have, such as Ramadan, etc. However,
Yeah.
seeing it from my own eyes, in reality, obviously, when it's like Ramadan, people still don't fast nowadays. So I would say that on a matter of religion, it is slowly falling apart.
What would it look like if me and you right now were in Morocco and we had our rosaries in our neck and we're excited to just walk into mass in open cities of or streets of Casablanca? What would that look like? You think we're gonna be just left alone, not bothered, who cared, or you think there will be some pointing and some wise words coming our way?
So I've been to mass a few times in Morocco, and I've had a lot of friends of mine as well. Still go to mass weekly now, and what I can tell you is, not a friend of mine, but a connection of a friend, I guess, was arrested for going to church in Casablanca once. It was on Christmas, but he was released after a day, as obviously there's no legal base for arresting him. And I have another friend as well from another city, which I won't disclose, who was at mass. And right after the mass ended, a police officer actually came up to the priest and he asked the priest, "Can you tell me about that Moroccan person that was at this church?" So it basically shows you that we simply cannot even go out there and live our faith publicly, because not only is it an issue on the legal matter because of this, but basically harassments from the police, but it's also an issue on the social matter, as people could attack you. I mean, I remember that once back then when I was still a kid, I simply told a few friends of mine from middle school that I was a Christian, and what the outcome was as I was leaving the school, all four of these friends were basically throwing rocks at me from far away, basically trying to stone me.
So if I may ask, is it, just from the example that you've just given us, so it's not a crime to go to mass? Meaning, if you are French or Belge and you're blonde, blue-eyed, and you're walking in and out of church, you're protected, loved, and hello, Mr. John, no problems. But the fact that it was a Moroccan individual or a Moroccan-born citizen that was partaking in mass, that's when it became a frowned-upon issue. Is that accurate?
Yeah, exactly.
But legally, it's not a crime. It's just persecution.
Legally, yeah, it would be persecution. At the same time, it's really confusing, to be honest. I mean, there is literally not a single law that states what we can or cannot do, other than basically shaking the faith of a Muslim, etc.
Well, that's what I'm confused about. And look, I last I was in Morocco was in 2003, so it's been a long time, and the country has evolved and changed. I know there's a cathedral right in the heart of Casablanca, and it's in documentaries, it's in highlights of every welcome to Morocco video showcasing the we are open to the world. But then it's like I saw a reel, somebody's like, there's welcome to Morocco, and then there's one Maghreb, and it's two different worlds, right? So I'm trying to understand, is our country truly open and evolved. I mean, I see, the Pope sending letters to the king, and the king, created a whole summit between the representatives of the Jewish faith and the representative of the Catholic faith and a representative of the Muslim. Even the Muhammad the sixth, the king, has stated, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, I am the prince of the believers, not the prince of the Muslims. In other words, says, I protect all of the believers in Abrahamic faith. And again, when I hear that, I'm like, that's awesome. Like, that is what makes me proud of being Moroccan, is the inclusion, is the welcoming and the open-mindedness to believe to what you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody. But again, in the grassroots of things, I'm hearing that the experience is totally different if you are a Moroccan trying to experiment or experience that very same openness that the country's talking about.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I would say that Morocco is headed on a path where it's simply trying to appeal to the West by obviously building stadiums, like being friendly to all the Western countries, etc. But at the same time, they're trying to keep the Moroccans from being Westernized, which is kind of weird in a way. But in a way, I believe that if they keep going in this route or path or road, something is going to happen eventually. I mean, when you look at other Muslim countries and Morocco even in itself, I made a video about this before, Moroccans, Saudis, Iranis, Algerians, etc. They're all having dreams about Jesus Christ, as an example. So it's proof that there are miracles happening in these countries, and all these people are basically converting to the truth. And these countries are not willing to go on with this in a peaceful manner, especially Morocco, for example.
That's insane to even hear out loud. And again, forgive my ignorance. I haven't been in the country physically in 23 years. So I can't wait to go and experience, as we say, it's God's will, right?
Sure.
Let's switch gear a little bit in here. How do people typically find your page and your mission, and what do they usually search for?
Back then, when I used to be in Morocco for the first 3 years of running these pages, I would normally reach out to the people myself by creative ways, such as like commenting on news pages, etc. Or people would literally just look up Moroccan Christians and my page would come up. However, ever since I've moved to the West as of recently, I decided to change up my strategy, where I would be reaching out to people through my content, basically through reels, posts, YouTube videos, etc., and partnerships. So yeah, I guess that's the way that people typically find my pages now.
And we're obviously going to put the direct link to your Instagram page and any other social media accounts right in the description of this episode. So for our listeners and viewers, just make sure that you go to the description of this episode and just click, and you can connect with the page directly. You can communicate with David and his team on private DM. Whether you are in the faith and you need a little bit of support, or you are considering, obviously both ways, make sure you do so. Let's talk about, what does the catechism and baptism journey look like for someone reaching out to you? Because again, if somebody is in Morocco specifically, in the depth of the culture and the depth of what it is like to live in the Moroccan family, and then they're considering catechism, considering baptism, what does that journey look like? What happens next?
It's definitely a modern way of doing it. It's not the traditional way, I would say, because obviously if you wanted to go through the traditional way, it's practically impossible as a Moroccan. So for all the Moroccans that have reached out to me and that I have connected to this organization, or the path that I have went through myself, they would simply be catechized in groups online with a catechist, whether he is from America, the UK, etc. And once a year or once every 2 years, the organization that I am partnered up with, which is called the Tavlik, the St. Nicholas Tavlik Network, they would fundraise enough money to basically rent a place in the country that they're going to, the city that they're going to, and they would go there with a priest, and that priest would simply baptize them.
And this happens physically in Casablanca in the cathedral, or where does that happen?
It's impossible. It's way too risky to happen in a church or a cathedral, so it would happen in homes.
Really? Even if
Yeah.
there's a pastor in there, even if there's mass in there?
Yeah, funny enough, I kid you not, I contacted priests back when I was in Morocco just to ask them about the possibility of receiving confession, and they would always be friendly, etc. But as soon as I would tell them I'm Moroccan, I would immediately be left on red.
From the priest, or?
The priest, yeah.
And is the priest not Moroccan, or is he Moroccan?
I believe there is no Moroccan priest that's alive now, so they're all Western priests.
And they leave you unread because of your own protection, or their own, like what? How would you explain that?
I would say they're doing it out of fear, because it can obviously not be a Moroccan convert who's actually trying to get help. It can always be a Fed that's trying to get them caught in the act of, like, basically converting a Moroccan.
So
or
essentially
something.
documenting them trying to convert a Moroccan or have a Moroccan taking part will essentially document them as part of the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. That makes sense. Okay.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.
I get it now. Okay, so what kind of safeguards do you put in place to protect essentially the people that are engaging with you spiritually, emotionally, and physically? I mean, you and I right here, right now, having this conversation, I'm okay with showing my face and my voice and my name. We've put some things in place to protect you. So to give the comfort and the safe space of anybody who wants to reach out, share with them a little bit. What are you doing or willing to do to make sure you're protecting them spiritually, emotionally, and physically?
If people wish to reach out to me on the matter of simply receiving catechesis or simply getting baptized, etc., basically that path, I would definitely connect them to the organization, and the organization has plenty of volunteers, people who know well about digital security. Basically, it is simply in a community that is safe. It's always monitored by multiple volunteers. Everyone there is trusted. It's basically almost impossible to get caught, because even while being in those communities, you're not allowed to share any personal information, because there's always a risk of, what if a convert's parents check their phone? What if someone's account is hacked, etc., So yeah.
Running the #1 page of Moroccan Christians comes with a little bit of responsibility, just like Spider-Man. So how do you carry that weight? What do you do to maintain, manage, and keep, the value that you are putting out there for the Moroccan Christian page?
Honestly, it's all thanks to God. I don't know how I'm doing this, because I started this page at the age of 16, and now I'm about to hit my 20s. I have an employee now working for me, which I pay out of my own salary, obviously. It definitely has a lot of responsibilities, I would say. I wouldn't know how to put it other than in a way where my parents, for example, or no one in real life knows that I'm a convert while I'm doing all of this. It is definitely a lot. There's definitely a lot of risk on the table.
Yeah, you have plenty of life ahead of you, and a lot to learn. I'm 40 years old, as young as I might look as I get all the time. How do you discern when to encourage, when to guide quietly, and when to slow someone down from moving too fast and making the wrong moves? I know we talked about the pastors in Morocco who know when to leave you unread for those very same reasons, but how do you do it if somebody were to reach out to encourage them to move forward, to guide them quietly, or to even slow them down from making a move on the wrong timing?
Personally, for me, I would say, even though I know a lot of Moroccan converts, which it can easily go up to the hundreds, I prefer not to have a specific community for the Moroccans because obviously that would be a lot of responsibility to have as a 19-year-old. So what I always tend to do is I always basically move them on to the organization, which is fully trusted, as I say, and then they handle the matters from there on. And it's been going amazing. I mean, we have families, upwards of 50 people in certain villages, cities, etc. that are all converts, and they're a part of that organization.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get it. What keeps you grounded when the message becomes heavy and emotional?
I would say I've had a difficult past, so I'm basically used to anything at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you pray about it and keep moving forward, right?
Exactly. Trust in God.
What kind of, yeah, amen to that. What kind of spiritual hunger are you seeing right now around Moroccans? I mean, do you see people reaching out a lot more than ever before, or do you find yourself still reaching out and trying to engage people? Talk to me about that engagement ratio. Are you getting people reaching out to you into the page?
Back then, when the page was small and it was still in Morocco, I would always run into the Moroccans myself, funny enough. I don't know if it was God or if it was simply always a coincidence. But now I've stopped reaching out to Moroccans completely. Rather, they always reach out to me. And something that I found really interesting in this is all of these people, as I have said before in the podcast, converted because of one single reason: dreams. And they have all converted from the year 2020 to above.
And on that note, how do you define success in this mission? Is it by the numbers of people who reach out? Is it by the amount of baptisms? Is it something deeper? What makes you say we've had a good month or a good week in the mission itself?
For me, my main goal back then, it was to basically hopefully change the laws in Morocco and get Moroccan Christians recognized. But as I've spent a lot of months or years into this, I've realized that that's basically impossible to do alone. So my main goal, I would say, is to basically spread awareness that we exist. And because of that, I believe that Morocco is going to see that everyone outside in the West knows that people in Morocco exist that are Christian, basically. So I believe that from that, there is a possibility that we could get recognized. So because of that, if I were to grow a lot on my pages in the last 30 days, the last 365 days, etc., then that would be good news for me.
Yeah. It intrigues me when I see, comedians like Gad Maleh or, others who are very openly saying, I am Jewish, Moroccan, I am Jewish, right? You have many other, Moroccan Christians who are artists and musicians. You have, French Montana who tatted up to his face and, drinks on every video, supporting and sponsoring vodka. And does being a celebrity and a person of influence have something to do with getting a pass? Like, it's okay if Gad Maleh is Moroccan, but he's on our shows telling everybody I'm a Jewish, and everybody loves him regardless of his faith. Or like, what would it take for an everyday average Moroccan Christian to get the very same love and admiration and normalcy that Gad Maleh gets, or any of those celebrities for that matter? What do you think?
To be quite frank with you, I wouldn't know any way to answer this other than simply increasing our voice. Obviously, all the converts right now, that most of them at least, are still young people. So I believe that as we keep on going on with this path, when these people get older, obviously they're going to start speaking out, etc., when they're independent. So it would simply be numbers.
For some, yeah. For someone that may be watching right now, or listening for that matter, and who feels spiritually curious but terrified, and the feeling, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
What would you directly want them to hear from you right now? You got somebody's attention. They're listening. What would you want them to hear?
I would say we live in times where obviously evil has a lot of power, but at the same time, God is still real. God still exists, and I've had a lot of miracles happen in my life, and miracles can still happen. So definitely hold on to your faith and pray.
Amen to that. David, if
Amen.
faith had a voice, what would it be saying to Moroccan Christians right now?
Wow. I would say stay strong, obviously. Only
Stay
two
strong.
words.
I'll add to that. You know, in the Lord's own words, let him who has ears hear.
Amen.
You know, the spiritual ears, if you will. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to learn more, if you want to support this mission, or if you simply want to follow the journey, make sure on Instagram specifically, you follow at Moroccan Christians. That is at Moroccan Christians, and support the work by meacoffee.com/Moroccan Christian org. That supports the mission financially. And as you know, we are living in a time, space, reality that requires funding in order to move things forward. So if you want to support, if you want to help, buy meacoffee.com/Moroccan Christians org. And let's do our part regardless. You may be Ali. I am Muslim till the day I die, and I respect you and I love you. Why? Because that's my mother, because that's my older brother. But yet again, my younger brother is in a different place where he and I are in the Christian faith. My daughter and my son and my wife are in the Catholic faith specifically. So it's called love, right? It's called tolerance. And in my faith, I was told that God is love, and I am loving and obliged to love you for who you are and what you believe. I don't have an ounce of hate in my soul. I believe what I believe, and I would like for you to see what I see. But if you don't, and you might not be ready for it, that's totally okay, because I love you anyways. That's what I was taught. That's what my God taught me. And you do what's right for you. But I urge you and I ask of you, if you don't have it within you to see it or don't want to put those spiritual glasses, that's totally okay. It doesn't make you broken. It doesn't make you bad. You are still loved, not just by me, but by my God that I believe in. Just make sure that you understand tolerance. Just like you watch Barcelona and Real Madrid and you are cheering for players that have nothing to do with your faith, your nationality, or your country, or your team for that matter, but you're still cheering and loving them. Love your Moroccan brother and your Moroccan sister, regardless of their faith. And as a matter of fact, I know for a fact that right now, as we speak, 60% of the Moroccan population does not practice the day-to-day faith. No prayers, drinking alcohol openly, smoking and hurting the body, in some cases eating jambon, which means bacon in our countries. So I am not judging you. Love your life. Do what's right for you. I love you anyways. But make sure you use those very same standards that you don't want somebody to judge you or oppress you by allowing somebody to live for who they are and what they are. David, I thank you and I appreciate you very, very much for giving me this exclusive. I cannot wait to collaborate with you even more and help and support you in any way that I can. With that, we love and appreciate you. Thank you again. We will see you next time. For those of you who want to visit us, make sure you visit themestudios.net for all of your media needs. My name is Ali Mehdaoui. This is the ME Show. Until next time, have a blessed day, everybody.
Still marketing your business like it's the Yellow Pages era? Welcome to ME Studios, where local solopreneurs and small business owners catch up with the digital world and take over it. We help you go from invisible to undeniable. Featured on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Plus, gain press exposure in over 100 to 300 major media outlets like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, and the CW. Right here in Eatontown, New Jersey, just steps away from the soon-to-be Netflix studios, our multi-unit facility is built for creators, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. Stop marketing like it's 1995. Start building your digital authority today with a team that gets it.